And we are live. So it's still the 4th of July, and this is my stream for the evening. I had planned to do a stream on Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon and updates and so on and so forth. But then I saw this today, and I thought to change the theme of the stream. And it says, it's from this guy named Nick. It's just Nick over there on Twitter. So maybe give him a look, give his profile a look, and check him out. And it says, Snyder fans better brace themselves. Y'all thought DC gatekeepers were bad? Just wait for Star Wars fans. You ain't seen nothing yet. The final bosses of nerd fandom. And I said, this was 10 hours ago. I said, I hadn't even considered this. But yeah, it makes sense. Now, if there's one thing I've noticed, it's that the quote-unquote fans basically take the fucking fun out of everything. And the IGN report that he was retweeting basically says that, you know, Rebel Moon looks a lot like Star Wars. And Rebel Moon is based primarily on a pitch that he gave to Lucasfilm, which was denied. So he said, fuck him. I'll make my own shit, which is exactly what he should have done. I can't wait until Rebel Moon hits. But I thought I'd take a look at the article on IGN. And it says, Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, this is on IGN.com, which was originally a Star Wars film, looks a lot like Star Wars. And this is from today. So it was updated today. The first images are, let's see what we... He insisted Rebel Moon wouldn't have worked as a Star Wars film, though, telling Empire there were many reasons it didn't come to be. I was like, I don't want any... I was like, this is via Empire. I was like, I don't want any of your characters. Fuck yeah, that's great to hear. I don't want to do anything with any known characters. I just want to do my own thing on the side. And originally, I was like, it should be rated R. That was almost a non-starter. So, I mean, those things don't break my heart at all. But I'm wondering, the deeper I got into it, hold on, let's just keep going. The deeper I got into it, I realized it was probably never going to be what I wanted. So, I mean, Rebel Moon is due to premiere on Netflix on December 22nd with the Snyder Cut version also on the way. Not breaking my heart at all. You know how I feel about those Snyder Cuts. So it says Zack Snyder's upcoming Rebel Moon, which was originally pitched as a Star Wars movie, still looks a lot like a Star Wars movie. Well, it looks like a Kurosawa movie, actually. But they do get into that a little bit. Empire, because Lucas based a lot of the original Star Wars, back before it was called A New Hope, it was just called Star Wars. And he based it on a Kurosawa film called The Hidden Fortress, which was about two bumbling fools that became 3PO and R2 on the quest for a warrior, very much like Ben Kenobi, to help rescue a kidnapped princess. It was a samurai film, and you should definitely see that. Zack Snyder's upcoming Rebel Moon, which was originally pitched as a Star Wars movie, still looks a lot like a Star Wars movie. Empire has shared a handful of first-look images of Netflix's upcoming sci-fi film, and while they are all reminiscent of Star Wars, it's one in particular that stands out, a woman wielding two blades of red light. This, of course, looks like a Sith from Star Wars, and given the film's Akira Kurosawa influence, it could bear a striking resemblance to the upcoming Star Wars series, The Acolyte. I don't know much about which was inspired by which was also inspired by Kurosawa. We'll get into that. Snyder, and so there's the photo. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a close-up on that bad boy. So there's the photo right there. So, okay, sure, no problem. Snyder insisted Rebel Moon wouldn't have worked as a Star Wars film, though, telling Empire there were many reasons it didn't come to be. The sale of Lucasfilm to Disney had just happened. There was that window where, who knows what's possible, he said. I was like, I don't want any of your characters. I was just talking about this. I don't want to do anything with any known characters. I just want to do my own thing on the side. And originally, I was like, it should be rated R. That was almost a non-starter. I'm sure Star Wars fans, the real fans, would say, that's not Star Wars. You can't do a R-rated Star Wars. It's not, so this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the fans. And here we go from Empire Magazine. There's another tweet. Anthony Hopkins voices mysterious robot Jimmy in Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. And wow, if you're going to have Anthony Hopkins voicing something, that's going to be really fucking cool. A character set to undergo a major transformation across the multi-part story. He's on a journey of self-discovery. And so you understand, if you get a good look at that, that is CGI. That is fantastic looking CGI and detail. And I can't wait for it. I don't know if, I won't speculate as to what it is exactly. But, I mean, that just looks gorgeous. Look at the knee joints. Look at the elbow joints. Look at the details in the neck here. Look at the small details there in those gears at the elbow joint. That's fantastic detail. So, I mean, very much looking forward to this. The deeper I got into it, I realized it was probably never going to be what I wanted, he said. This sentiment was shared by Logan director James Mangold, who recently said his attempt to make an R-rated Star Wars film fizzled out too. And Mangold probably should have stuck with his idea instead of taking on Indiana Jones because, that's turning into a fucking enormous fuck up. A handful of other images were released too, showing a buff man with a big gun, a spaceship driving through explosions, two characters standing in a ship, and a girl and a robot played by Anthony Hopkins sitting on a sleepy planet. Rebel Moon will apparently just be the first film in a new sci-fi epic that even includes a, quote, ridiculous scale video game adaptation, according to Snyder. The film is due to premiere on December 22nd on Netflix, but a Snyder Cut version, meaning a longer one with more R-rated themes, is also on the way. I think you've got Charlie Hunnam in there. And that's the article from IGN. Personally, I can't wait for this. But as I was saying, I'm pretty positive the fans are going to be out there saying, well, you can't, this isn't Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. And you can see it already. I had an encounter about a month ago on Twitter with a guy, the profile Bounding Into Comics. And he had already declared that Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon already DOA because one of the characters identifies as non-binary. So I'm no progressive, but I looked a little bit into it, and sure enough, one of the characters is going to identify as non-binary. So I thought, it depends on if the character has something to offer other than this sort of gender thing. If it does, or if he, she, whatever, does, then it's a good character. If the only quality of the character is that it's non-binary, or he or she is non-binary, then yeah, it's a shit character. But this was before we had even gotten a teaser look at Rebel Moon. This was already being declared DOA. So I went a little further into the article that Bounding wrote, and they basically brought the church into the argument as to why this Rebel Moon should be DOA. And that's what really pissed me off. Because, I'm a person of faith too, and to actually bring the church into a fucking Zack Snyder film is some small dick shit. It just really is. So I tweeted the guy and I said, if you're going to do this sort of thing and bring the church into it, then you're going to have to tell all your subs and followers that, they're also going to have to boycott any movie where someone is having premarital sex, or anyone is divorced, some sort of abortion, any gay characters. You're going to have to tell your fan base or followers or subs or whatever they are that they're going to have to boycott those movies too, which means, we're going to have about 10 movies left that we can watch. So go ahead and do that, and I'll wait. I'll wait to see if you actually do that. And he blocked me. So, clearly, I think his sub count was more important than his convictions there. And yeah, there's some limp dick shit going on there. But I can just see it's going to be coming. We've seen it with The Flash, which I thought was a mid movie. We've seen it with Indiana Jones. That was actually, a piece of shit. But the thing that gets me is that, if you announce that something is going to be DOA 6 months before you see a single frame of the movie, then that's a fucking problem. And this is why I think a lot of these, people who've made, and I like them. I've never met many of them. I've met a few. They seem very nice. But, maybe the format of comic book movies and things like that just needs to go away. Because it's become complete fucking gatekeeping. And it's fucking ridiculous. Telling people to stay away, don't watch this. The other people telling them, thanks for watching this so I don't have to, just completely surrendering your right to independent thought, seeing it for yourself, forming your own opinion. All those things have just, seemingly with many people just gone out of the fucking window. So I'm waiting. It's already started for Rebel Moon. I'm sure as we get closer to it and the summer rolls around and, the fall comes in and, the summer blockbusters, and they'll be getting to it here. My strong suggestion and request is to please go see the movie for yourself. Make up your own mind, figure it out for yourself, and then decide if it's worth seeing. That's what I do. That's the way it's always done and should be done. People should be making up their own minds. And if you decide that you don't want to see it, that's your decision too. I do not control anybody's, remote control or, subscription service or, how they open their wallet at the cinema. But don't follow someone's lead who says, don't see this fucking movie, and then you're just like, oh, okay, I don't have to watch it because they say it sucks or because they say whatever. Figure it out for yourself. Think for yourself. It might be better if these fans, whatever it is, that have made a substantive kind of existence. And again, they're not, not bad people or anything like that, but this thing that has been built up since the MCU started, and then with DC and has spiraled into Star Wars and Star Trek and all, if all these things just kind of went away and took all this ideology with it on all sides, because it's difficult to have fun anymore. It's a lot more difficult to have fun anymore, to enjoy anything, to just sit back and enjoy something without your timeline being barraged with everyone who is just an absolute expert. So we've got Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon coming up. It looks epic to me. I have every intention of seeing it. I would encourage you to see it and make up your own mind and go from there. That's my video. I could go through a few more Zack Snyder articles that I have here from Variety. Well, actually, maybe I will. I'll do one more here from Empire. And just kind of go from there. Here we go. Zack Snyder has endless movie and TV plans for Rebel Moon. We can't really hit the bottom. Exclusive. Zack Snyder has always thought big, and his original sci-fi saga will be no different. The director who curated his own corner of DC, who sent the heroes of Sucker Punch through multiple distinctive realities, and who saw a universe of stories that could emanate from his zombie tale Army of the Dead, has a knack for creating expansive worlds that could pivot in all kinds of directions, and Rebel Moon is packed with potential expansions. The film originally began as a Star Wars pitch, then it was picked up by Netflix, where it became 2 movies rather than compromising on a single 3-hour flick. Those films will now arrive in 2 forms with additional harder edge cuts to follow initial family-friendly versions. And that's only the beginning. As Snyder tells Empire, he knows exactly where Rebel Moon could go with plans that extend far beyond these 2 movies. When I pitched it to Netflix, the scale was a thing they wanted, says Snyder. They were like, well, how big could it be? How many movies? That made me go, okay, if we really do this, we can sink our teeth pretty deep into this. We can't really hit the bottom. He's not kidding. The writer-director penned a 450-page Rebel Moon Bible detailing all kinds of lore and backstories pertaining to the evil Imperium. That sounds fantastic. He's created his own source material for this, and an extensive stack of source material. He has an expansive timeline that extends long before and after the 2 current films. This is the small board, Snyder laughs, of the version he shows Empire in his Pasadena offices. The big board is over at my office on the Hill. It's 3 times the size of this. And all being well, how much of it could end up on the screen? Plans have been mooted for a TV series, which would explore the history of Frothy's Belisarius, the saga's real big bad. And in a proposed 3rd film, audiences will finally get to visit, well, the Rebel Moon. The Rebel Moon is not the moon that they're on, Snyder clarifies. The title is conceptual, but there's a planet named Vanna, and Vanna is the Rebel Moon. It's not even in one shot of this movie. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. For now, there's just the small matter of creating a massive 2-part original science fiction epic, corralling in a vast array of mercenary heroes, hissable baddies, unusual aliens, and a mysterious robot set across multiple planets, spaceships, moons, and more. Or as Zack Snyder calls it, the basics. So we've got very much a 7 Samurai kind of feel to it with this ragtag group of people who are going to be coming to the aid of others. See it for yourself. Okay, that's my video. If you like the video, please, hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think of this, what you think of the fans. Are they going to be attacking it? My prediction is yes, because that's what they do. Subscribe to the channel. Happy 4th of July, everybody. God bless America, and God bless you. Take care now.